Is it just me, or is Pokemon going all in on the shiny theme right now? We have diamond-accented Pokemon jewelry, and the most recent Japanese set just happens to be called Shiny Treasure. We're on to you, Pokemon Company, trying to seduce us with your shiny items. Like that would ever work. Hey everybody, what's up from Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. Today we're breaking down the top 5 news stories in Pokemon, along with some of my own personal thoughts and commentary on each one. That is the goal of my channel after all, is to keep you all informed whether it's the good, the bad, or the ugly. Also, as is tradition on this series, don't forget to stick around to the end of the video for my top 5 content recommendations. These are some of the best PokeTuber videos of the month, and I'd highly encourage you to give each and every one of them a watch. Anyway, let's dive into today's first story. First up, we have a new Pokemon TCG set just released in Japan, and it's a doozy for several reasons. This new set, named Shiny Treasure EX, is a reprint set containing 190 primary set cards and over 150 secret rare cards. As the name implies, this set will also feature the return of shiny Pokemon, including shiny reprints of some of the heavy hitters from earlier Scarlet and Violet sets. It's also worth mentioning that this set will continue the EX card mechanic, with one guaranteed Pokemon EX in every booster pack. With the set debuting on December 1st in Japan, many of these secret rare cards are finally hitting the market after months of speculation and discussion. Another interesting discovery shared by PokeBeach shows a new pixelated reverse holo pattern in use, which they refer to as a digitized sheen, and speculate may be to complement the Paradox Pokemon, which are prehistoric or futuristic versions of existing Pokemon. I kind of like that theory, and I could see how the Pokemon Company would want to lean into that aesthetic, given their commitment to the Paradox Pokemon dynamic. Anyway, most of the cards in this set are anticipated to make their English debut in late January as part of Paldea Fates. And just as a side note, this seems to be a direct naming continuation of both Hidden Fates and Shining Fates, which released in 2019 and 2021, respectively. There's also already been some product art and marketing material that's been released for this new set, including a couple English cards. It's also believed that this set will include some unreleased Japanese promos and cards cut from English release of Paradox Rift. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of reprints, shiny Pokemon, or the Paradox Pokemon mechanic, each of which feels a bit unoriginal and kind of gimmicky to me. But to be fair, I'm primarily a vintage collector, so something like 151 was much more attuned to my taste. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Shiny Treasure and Paldea Fates. Are you excited for more shiny Pokemon? Gotta get that shiny fix in? Let me know down in the comments below. Next up, let's revisit one of the Pokemon TCG's earliest urban legends, the pre-release Raichu. For those of you unaware, Wizards of the Coast was famous for printing and distributing a unique pre-release holo with many of their earliest sets. These cards included a small pre-release stamp in the bottom right-hand corner of the illustration box and were distributed as promos to promote upcoming set releases. These cards included Clefable for Jungle Set, Aerodactyl for Fossil Set, Dark Gyarados for Team Rocket, and Misty Seadra for Gym Heroes. However, ever since 1999, rumors has circulated about the existence of a pre-release Raichu from the base set. Now, I'll try to do my best to abridge the story, but as legend has it, Wizards of the Coast officials produced a select number of pre-release Raichu cards, either accidentally or intentionally, as they were testing the production process for the Clefables. Now, some have speculated that a limited number of Raichus were included on the Clefable sheets, while other reports suggest full Raichu sheets were printed, but whatever the case may be, it has long been rumored that a select number of these Raichus were secretly preserved and owned by former Wizards of the Coast employees. For more than 2 decades, these cards were regarded as a mythical holy grail of Pokemon collecting. However, recently, 2 of them have surfaced after being graded by CGC. Now, before I go any further, there have been a lot of mixed feelings on this subject, so I don't want to mischaracterize anyone or misrepresent the conflicting perspectives here. But the controversy lies in whether or not CGC should have authenticated and graded these cards given their uncertain origins. On the one hand, the owner of the cards, David Person, has produced what I feel to be some strong provenance tracing the timeline and ownership of the cards back to known Wizards of the Coast officials. And CGC has also produced an article documenting their forensic analysis of the cards and their consistency with other Pokemon cards and stamps from this time period. On the other hand, there are some contradictory reports from at least one other Wizards of the Coast official, about how the cards were produced, how many were created, and what happened to them, casting some doubt on the credibility of the competing storyline. Others have also noted PSA's unwillingness to authenticate the pre-release Raichu years earlier as a precedent for a more cautious approach. It's such an iconic card that there's a lot of risk in authenticating it, thus the controversy. Personally, I want this card to be real. I've been fascinated by its legend and its lore for so long that it's really cathartic to finally see it emerge. However, I also think that a healthy dose of skepticism is necessary, particularly for test print items. For now, I think I'll defer to CGC, who has much more expertise in this field than I do or ever will have, and offer Dave my sincere congratulations on the acquisition. If nothing else, it's fascinating to see items like this take center stage and prompt a closer look into Pokemon's historical foundations. Anyway, you guys will have to let me know what you think about the pre-release Raichu down in the comments below. This next story is something truly different, a new Pokemon series on Netflix called Pokemon Concierge. The premise of the show and its artistic style are strong deviations from the traditional anime, and rather than battling opponents and traveling across the land, Pokemon check in on a tropical island resort for some much-needed rest and relaxation. The style of animation seems to be a type of stop motion, with many of the Pokemon designs looking like they were assembled during arts and crafts time. Now don't get me wrong, the Pokemon certainly have their charm, especially Psyduck, which seems to have a starring role in the series, at least from what I could tell. Anyway, the series description on Netflix reads, "Welcome to Pokemon Resort, a peaceful getaway for Pokemon to relax and have fun. Which adorable guest will the new concierge Haru befriend first?" The trailer implies that lead protagonist Haru is new to her role as the Pokemon concierge and is still learning how to best serve the Pokemon in her care. She's shown interacting with a number of different Pokemon, as well as a pair of fellow Pokemon Resort employees. Like I said earlier, this is very different from the traditional anime and is slated for its Season 1 debut later this month on December 28th. While I'd personally prefer seeing a spin-off with Ash and Pikachu brought back, I have to say I really like the diversity of content Pokemon is producing lately. If this is even half as much fun as their previous release, Path to the Peak, then I'm in. Anyway, you'll have to let me know what you think about Pokemon Concierge down in the comments below. Is this something you're interested in watching? And how do you feel about Psyduck finally getting the limelight? Next up, let's talk about another European Pokemon promo, the Pokemon Together pop-up event. In early November, the Pokemon Company announced a series of pop-up events that would be touring the UK, France, and Germany beginning in late November and running through late December. In total, there are currently 8 different one-day events scheduled over the 6-week span, with many visitors already praising the event. These Pokeposts, as they're called, give visitors the opportunity to mail a friend or a family member a gift pack featuring a promo Pokemon Together stamped Eevee card or Pikachu card, and then visitors can receive the other to keep for themselves. In addition to the stamped promo card, these gift packs also include a 3-card fun pack of Paradox Rift cards. The Pokemon Company has also advertised guest appearances from Eevee and Pikachu, along with various photo opportunities for fans and enthusiasts to enjoy at the event. So far, it seems that the event has gone smoothly, and I have to say it's great to see Europe finally getting some quality events and opportunities, and I know there's a loyal and dedicated community over there, so to all the viewers out there across the Atlantic, this one's for you. Also, I'm loving the wintry theme of this event and everything from the Pokepost art to even the Snorlax snowman literally chilling in the snow. Even the event itself encourages gift giving, which is a timely and relevant message around the Christmas season. Anyway, I love events like this, and I hope we get to see more of them in the future. Congrats to everyone in the UK, France, and Germany who will have the opportunity to attend one of these events. And for everybody else on the sidelines, here's the ultimate question. Would you rather receive the promo Eevee or the promo Pikachu? Let me know what you're keeping and which one you're sending down in the comments below. Finally, it wouldn't be the holiday season if we didn't talk about some expensive Pokemon jewelry for sale. So if any of you are out there looking for that perfect gift idea for your special someone, this might be for you. A few weeks ago, Tiffany Jewelry announced a Pokemon-themed collaboration with artist Daniel Arsham, who is known for reimagining items as archaeological discoveries made in the future. You can definitely see this in his jewelry designs, called the Pokemon Capsule Collection, which features different Pokemon pendants set in oxidized silver with small voids filled with diamond accents. It's almost like the gemstones are being discovered within the Pokemon, furthering the archaeological discovery aesthetic. Anyway, there are 6 different Pokemon to choose from, including Cubone, Charmander, Mew, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, and Squirtle, with each pendant retailing for $1,290, and all 6, including the necklace, available for $7,190. Finally, for all of the high rollers out there, there's also an 18-karat yellow gold and diamond Pikachu pendant with an accompanying blue Pokeball available in 2 different sizes. The smaller of the 2 is priced at $9,900, and the larger version at a whopping $29,000. Personally, I don't wear jewelry, and I'd rather direct my discretionary spending elsewhere. However, I do have to admit that the designs on these are beautiful, and the Ripple in Time theme is a unique artistic direction for Pokemon pieces such as this. And I will say, I'm a bit surprised that Bulbasaur didn't make the cut with the other Kanto starters, but I guess that's irrelevant because if we're being honest, the Mew is the true one. That's the one I would go with. Especially considering the archaeological theme, Mew just feels right, and I'd love to see this pendant photographed together with the Ancient Mew card. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on these Pokemon pendants down in the comments below. Are you feeling these designs, or is this something you'll pass on? Anyway, guys, before I unveiled my top 5 videos of the month, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. I put hours and hours into each and every one of these videos, and your support goes a long way in keeping me motivated and staying on the grind. But anyway, I truly appreciate you all for watching, so let's roll into the top 5. First on this week's top 5 list, I wanted to spotlight a business-related channel that has been providing some interesting tips and insights about running a large-scale Pokemon business. PokeDNA Pokemon is a relatively new discovery for me, and admittedly, I haven't watched much of his content yet. However, what I have seen has been simple, yet insightful commentary on running a business. In this particular video, PokeDNA revisits 5 lessons learned along the way to becoming an established Pokemon seller. It's a thoughtful and reflective video without fancy editing or other bells and whistles, but it's one that I thoroughly enjoyed. If you're looking for business-related content, I'd suggest checking out PokeDNA Pokemon. Next is someone I consider a friend and someone who puts a tremendous amount of effort into editing and storytelling, PokeDNA. About a week ago, DNA posted a video chronicling his experience building a collection from scratch with only $100 to spend. Not only does he come up with some beautiful cards here, but the whole video serves as a perfect example of how to approach collecting on a budget. He explains his process of narrowing his collection identity and does an excellent job showcasing each of his selections. Personally, I love content that can educate and entertain, and this is a balance I think PokeDNA is quickly mastering with videos like this. Go check it out, it's definitely a fun one. This next video comes from Top 10 Pokemon, who put together another interesting recap video full of recent sales data. However, this time, it's all about the worst performing Charizards in 2023. Often, we look at Charizard as the bellwether of the Pokemon market, but some of these Charizard cards are really feeling the burn, falling 80% or more from their all-time highs. In typical Top 10 Pokemon fashion, the sales data is paired with some insightful context and commentary, including population reports and broader market trends. Anyway, I always find these types of videos interesting, and this one was no exception. If you can handle the heat, it's worth a watch. Next, we'll visit Mason of Cardinal Gaming, who recently made a video discussing Black Friday and the current state of the Pokemon market, all through the lens of a brick-and-mortar gaming store. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Mason, he owns and operates a pair of gaming stores, and I personally appreciate the unique perspective that he brings to the table. Sort of like having an in-the-field reporter interacting directly with consumers. Anyway, the holiday season is quickly coming upon us, and I thought this would be a good time to remind everyone to try to support their local small businesses and those in your communities. And if you're interested to hear how 151 and Paradox Rift are performing, then you can support Mason by watching this video. Finally, we'll wrap this one up with another risky Pokemon card challenge video with Pat Flynn of Deep Pocket Monster. In this video, Pat takes us to Japan for the Pokemon World Championships, where he's tasked with a series of collecting challenges, including making a trade using a translator app, purchasing a card while speaking only Japanese, trading with a world's competitor, and 9 other challenges. But here's the catch. If Pat fails any of these challenges, he has to give away the whole binder full of cards. Considering the cards involved, those are some high stakes. Anyway, this was a fun and exhilarating experience, and it also does a good job showcasing the camaraderie of Pokemon fans and enthusiasts at these international events. If you're looking for a feel-good adventure with plenty of suspense, then this is the video for you. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Breaking News, where we break down some of the most important Pokemon news stories each and every month. Let me know your thoughts on these stories down in the comments below, and if there are any major news stories that I missed, definitely send them my way, because I'm always on the lookout for more Pokemon news. Anyway guys, I'm Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. Thanks for spending your time with me today, and we'll see y'all with the next video. Stay well, everybody!